Hello, and welcome to CLEA'S World. I am Clea, and today I would like to share with you more of the information I received from the 25th dimension during my last BQH hypnosis session. I'll be reading from a transcript of a section of the session. And when I refer to Lorrayne, I'm speaking of my practitioner who's asking me questions I prepared in advance of the session, unless she states otherwise. And when I refer to me, I'm speaking of myself under hypnosis, which means that the answers are coming from a 25th dimension. But before I jump in and start reading, I would like to thank you as always for subscribing, commenting, and liking this video. I appreciate it. All right, Lorrayne. This is a question from a viewer, and we'll call him Mark. I know who my twin flame is, and it was my first taste of 5D with her back in 2019. Fast forward to today, I can definitely make connections with how I am with her and these new earth energies that we all feel. I bet it's connected for sure. I think it sparked my Kundalini too. I was just wondering if you can chat with the 25th about the relationship and its significance. Me. Yes, we will be happy to do this because Clea has gone through something very similar, which she has talked about at length in her book, and they're referring to the first book I wrote, which is Untamed and Free. Basically, she had a similar experience where she met this man after she left her husband. And through him, she had a Kundalini awakening, or what she believes was a Kundalini awakening. She thought this man was her twin flame, everything that he's just described. Now, it's interesting, of course, we talk about twin flames, which again is a 3D concept, really. We already said we are all one, and they were laughing. But at a 3D level, we like to think that we're closer to certain souls than others. Again, the idea of souls, because we like to believe in separation, even when we're really talking about energetic matters, and energy is indivisible. And again, we are not trying to judge his view of things. We're saying Clea had exactly the same view. And so we think that these people, when you come into contact with these people, they will spark something within you. We already said none of this would have happened unless your essence. So Mark's essence had decided that he wanted to spark an awakening. And Mark's essence will use anything to cause this awakening. In this case, basically put him in contact with this person that he had such a connection to, where he thought that she's a twin flame. We already said twin flames don't have to be romantic relationships. Clea has a twin flame on the other side of the world, and they're working together on projects, on things they want to do, but they will never meet. They don't need to meet. It is not a romantic connection. It is a working relationship. These are essences that you have agreed with to work on certain things. Just like we have essences that we go and meet within the astral and so on and so forth. We are all connected. And so we know a lot more people than we think we do. They were laughing. If you want to look at it from a 3D perspective. So what is happening? Did she spark the Kundalini awakening? No, she didn't. She was just a trigger. She was a vehicle that his higher self used for him to achieve what he wanted to achieve, what he set himself out to achieve. It could have been her, could have been somebody else. This person is not special because she caused certain things. Now, this person might be special because she might be an essence that he's made certain agreements with. But again, it doesn't have to be romantic. Clea has moved past this man, but she very much remembers because he was very low vibration, but it was still the vehicle that her higher self used for her to go through the motions to get to the point where she would connect with us. You see, there's always a purpose. She's very grateful despite all the pain this man has. Well, she believes this man has caused in her life, but in reality, again, it is the pain that she set up for herself, for her to awaken to a certain truth. She's very grateful despite everything. She's very grateful to this man because she realized that he was the trigger. But again, it was triggered because her higher self had decided that was the moment where she needed to awaken. The way that she herself had decided right from the beginning in this embodied incarnation to awaken at a certain time. That's it. Her higher self could have used her being hit by a train and spending 6 months in a hospital as a reason to awaken. His higher self could have been, if we were in higher dimensional planets where we don't have to have such low vibrational choices available to us, his higher self could have had him look at a painting in a museum and all of a sudden come into a state of bliss and joy never experienced before. And he could have had his Kundalini awakening that way. It's not about how it happened. It is about why it happened. We say this all the time. It is not about the information, the way that things show up. It's about the question. You coming into contact with something. We tend to stop and say, That's what it is. But the approach we've been recommending is, why am I seeing this? Why did this happen to me? And we know, we can see the trajectory. All of a sudden, he's in the Telegram group getting information from the 25th dimension. Things are always connected. Things don't ever happen by chance. And so this is what we like to say to him. This is not to say, yes, no connection to this person. This is not to say this person did not help him. If they truly are twin souls, they are working on shared projects. It does not mean it has to be romantic. Well, it might very well be. Again, it could be romantic with anyone. It doesn't have to be special, particularly special with this person. We are moving on to New Earth. On New Earth, things will be extremely different. And that's what it is. So he's asking this question because he's still searching, you see. Otherwise, he wouldn't have to ask this question. He would have already elaborated it. So what is he searching for? These are the questions he must ask himself. What is it that he's hoping for? Why is he hoping for that? What is his essence wanting? What is his higher self setting up for him? He's very close to getting the information. That's why he keeps asking. And now he has the 25th, and we're telling him, you already know the answer. You don't need to ask anybody else. You know what's happening. Lorrayne, thank you. Okay, this is a personal question that I, Lorrayne, have. I'm sure I understand the answer, but I'd like to know sort of the deeper meaning of this. Years ago, I became obsessed with crystals. I had to gather as many crystals as I possibly could, and I had to learn everything about them. I had to feel into them. I'm doing the same thing now with herbs, plant medicine. And I'm wondering if I'm trying to gather the tones and frequencies, as you said, we're all notes, and I've tried to gather the notes of the crystals and of the herbs to incorporate them into my beingness, into the collective oneness. Me. You have always been searching. There are many aspects to this. So we have all always been searching. We knew this time was coming, and we knew what we had chosen. We've always known. You have been getting this information in a 3D way, in a verbal way for the past year. But we already knew this. We just wanted to expose ourselves consciously, but we already knew. We knew what was going on. We knew something was going to happen. We found out in this lifetime, this was the jackpot lifetime, and they were laughing, where this would happen. Because we said we've known about this takedown for several generations. We just didn't know when it was going to happen. But when we came in this time, we knew this was it, especially you being on the team of the light. So you've always been seeking, and you've always been wanting, focusing, wanting to be in this vibration. So in that sense, you are correct. You are seeking this vibration. You are looking forward to this vibration. And these are some of the vibrations we'll have on your earth. The vibration will be much higher, even though, again, we're always going to be everything, and we're going to be aware of that on your earth. And we said before, many people believe that on new earth, there will be no polarity. Of course, there will be polarity, but the polarity will be inside of us. We'll realize it's inside of us. We don't have to isolate it so that it shows up around us. So we can say, oh no, I'm not part of it. I'm only on the side of the light, or I'm only on the side of the dark. So you've always been trying at a physical level to create that environment for yourself. So like you noticed, you tend to go towards high vibrational products, but this is all they are. They are products. It's not about the products. The truth is you can create that reality for yourself without any of that. It's an intention. Now, at a 3D level, we understand. We just finished saying this about these things and side effects that at a 3D level, while the essence knows that it can create everything within a split second, and we know that you're intellectually aware of this, the truth is, as humans, we don't know this. We don't want to believe this because we do want to be part of this game. But then what do? We pretend that these solutions come from the outside. So in your case, you wanted this high vibration. You wanted to be in touch with this high vibration. And therefore, you went outside of yourself to find products that were high vibrational so that you could bring them into your reality. And now you can say to yourself, and we don't mean right now. Right now, you're very aware of what you've done. But at the time, you were telling yourself, this is where the high vibration is coming from. Whereas the entire time, you were creating your own reality. But now you can see you're physically manifesting your reality by saying, I'm going to actually go buy this. So I'm actually going to leave my house, go to this person, find a crystal, buy it, bring it back, and feel into it, which is, this is how we do things here. So yes, in that sense, you are correct. You were seeking to be in more direct or physical connection with this higher energy. You also protected your space by doing that many, many times. We already said many times, you've had a very specific purpose here that you've set up for yourself. And we want to remind you, we do not come in with missions. Our only mission here is to have fun. There is no other mission. But at the same time, we do like to go towards certain things. We are playful. We want to experience different things. So in your case, this is what you want to experience. So in this case, you made it your purpose as in, this is what I want to experience. This is what we mean. We specify because, again, many people think that there are no limitations to the essence. The essence doesn't have to do anything. You could have come in to be a bum your entire life, and it would have been perfectly and completely acceptable. So in this particular case, this is what you set yourself out to be. Your purpose was to be at a certain vibrational level, which of course you're very attracted to. You are on the team of the light. Not only, we've discussed this many times, you're very aware of this. You are here to ground. So of course, what is a better way to ground than to get crystals that come out of the earth, herbs that come out of the earth? You see, you're attracted to certain things being who you are. You could have been attracted to, who knows, something else that the spiritual community believes is high vibration. And maybe it's not as grounding for you. So what are you actually after? We go back to what we just said. What is the question here? What are you after? We already know you didn't have to do any of that, but you did it because of the frequency. Now, do they have the frequency? Yes. Does your essence have to be affected by the frequency? Clea has crystals around, but she thinks of them as pretty rocks. They do nothing for her. It doesn't matter. Clea could live in the middle of, there are people that live in the middle of a low vibrational soup and they're very high vibration. They just go about their day. They don't even know what's going on. They don't care. Because again, it's the essence that chooses. So really, what were you after? What you were after is very simply, is what we're doing right now. Have you needed, and you're saying, you used the word, I was obsessed with, you were seeking. Have you needed to do any of that lately? Now that you are realizing that you are the origin of everything, that we truly, even at a conscious level, because we know it at an intellectual level, we always say, we've heard it for decades, we are source, we're fragments of source, yada, 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 who cares? Yeah, okay, but I'm going to go about and say, oh my God, I hope this doesn't happen. I hope that doesn't happen. Well, if you're source, you don't have to hope. You're making everything happen. We don't actually believe it. We hear it, we know it, but we don't actually believe it. But now we're actually starting to believe. Have you had, so this is our question to you, have you had the same types of obsessions where you need something outside of you for you to be in a certain, for you to realize that it's your way to get into a certain vibration? Lorrayne, the answer is no. However, I'm wondering of late, I've had this sort of drive to create herbal medicine. And I'm wondering if it's the codes that I'm looking for. You refer to food as having codes, and I sort of look at herbs like food. So I'm wondering if it's just codes, me. So yes, of course, everything is a code here. Everything is a code. Air is a code. Of course, herbal medicine will be a code. Again, the question to you is, what is the code about? The code, is a thing. It's just like saying your chair is a thing. The code does not matter. What is the code? When we talk about food, we don't just say it's a code. We say it's a code for grounding. When we talk about the numbers that Clea talked about, we said it's a code, but we said, what is the code used for? What will this code achieve for you? So the question we ask you is, what is the code good for? What is your essence trying to get out of this code, this trigger, this external, what you believe is external reality? What are you trying to get? And I love how the 25th is doing therapy and they're questioning Lorrayne, but she's up for it. She's sharp. She's on it. Lorrayne, okay, this just came to me. I'm just trying to remind myself of the frequencies of New Earth to know that I am the power who gets there. I know it, as you said, intellectually, but I believe that the herbs are the code that is reminding me. I keep going back to the code on New Earth, that's where I'm going. That's my intent. That's what I'm creating, New Earth, me. And that is correct. You have been doing this your entire life. You came in to do this. We have already said we are all focused. We knew what was happening. We already knew where we're going to go. Remember, we said this many times, we have all aligned. So of course you're aligning with certain frequencies, which is what you're calling codes. Now we will say more. Why are you attracted to this particular code? You can get the same frequency your essence could justify at a conscious level getting this frequency, again, from crystals or from anything else, why herbal medicine? What are you actually doing? We will say here, we'll give you a little bit of a hint, and they were chuckling, that herbal medicine, potions, which is what you are doing, is alchemy. What are you alchemizing? What are you doing? What you are doing is you are creating out of your own intention, you are creating things. And so what are you actually doing? It's what we have been calling becoming Neo. You are realizing, because you're very self-aware, whether you stop to think about it or not, you always know what is going on. And that's why it takes you a second to know what your higher self is trying to communicate to you. All you're doing is you're changing reality, and you are physically in front of your eyes changing your reality. But you think it's nothing. You think, I put an A plus B plus C together and this comes out. But does it? Clea could do the same thing. It would not come out the same way. And I love how they throw me under the bus, but it's true. I mean, this is all stuff that to me is like, it's magic is what it is. It is alchemy. So it's funny how we assume that because we're doing something, it comes easily to us, then it's just easy. So fascinating. I really did enjoy this section, I have to tell you. So, all right, let me back up here. Okay, so you think it's nothing. Clea could do the same thing. It will not come out the same way because you are working already on becoming Neo. You are already working on physically changing reality. That is just your reminder that you're changing reality. And this is what you do. And you're doing that with your hands. And you're doing that really, it's your higher self doing this. Your higher self is reminding you. And it just reminded you again, this is what we're working on. It's New Earth. And what we've been saying is this transition is about getting us closer to our consciousness, to the consciousness we will have, which means the awareness of our powers that we will have very soon. We're not, and we want to remind you, we're not waiting to go to New Earth to have all of our powers. We are getting many of our powers before we even get to New Earth. Lorrayne, alchemy, of course, tickles me pink, and it's fun. And the 25th was laughing. Thank you for your answer and clarity. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.